Konnichiwa, and welcome to Talk Less Tokyo, a weekly weeb podcast about life in Japan and the collision of Asian and American culture. I am your host, Kim Sensei, English teacher by day and by night podcaster extraordinaire, broadcasting to you from Tokyo, Japan. Joining me today from sunny Los Angeles is my lovely co-host, Justine.
Hi.
Howdy, howdy. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
I'm just
in
here
advance
for the free chocolate afterwards, man. Or the discount chocolate afterwards for all major holidays.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of the same here. I don't know. I feel like Japan does a really good job of like managing their like stock, because it's always like things sell out really fast here, you know? And it's always like, I feel like there's like an overabundance of things in America where there's always like tons and tons of like leftover stock they're just trying to like clear, you know? But I feel like that doesn't happen here in Japan. I wonder if that's related to like this whole like multi-nai kind of culture where it's like nothing goes to waste. I wonder if it's like they actually practice like understocking. I don't know how you would say that. Like not having, like guaranteeing that you don't have enough stock in order to like guarantee that you sell out of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And like to the point where it would like undercut your profit here. You know what I mean?
So kind of like making a appropriate, well, I guess less than demand, so that way there's no excess afterwards, like after holidays and stuff.
Yeah, just always ensuring that there is not enough supply to meet demand.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's always the case in Japan. Like there's never ever like a lot of leftovers for sale on sales. Like that doesn't really happen here. I never see that. And like even that on sale stuff disappears.
Yeah, I feel like it also depends on the holiday too, because I feel like Valentine's Day and like Halloween and shit like that is more Western holidays. It's not really, there's not as much cultural importance to it as in like New Year's or like other holidays in Japan.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't think New Year's is a really big gift-giving holiday here. It's more of just like a spend time with family kind of thing in Japan.
Yeah, but there's a lot of those bento box, like New Year's bentos that they sell just for seasonal, and it's like you never really see them. Oh, here's some clearance New Year's bentos, because it's kind of like you have to pre-order.
Like who's gonna buy a clearance that?
I know.
I know. It's like you have to wait until after New Year's to buy it. That's kind of pointless. But yeah. Okay. Anyways, getting back on topic for today. I hope you all enjoyed last week's episode about isekais, throwback isekais, and the greatest OG isekai of them all, Super Mario Brothers 1993 version. I actually discovered some interesting facts yesterday because I was doing some more like vintage movie research, and I went back and I realized that the guy in Roger Rabbit, the detective in Roger Rabbit, is the same guy who plays Super Mario.
Really? Oh shit.
In Super Mario Brothers. Yeah, go look at his face right now. It's fucking Super Mario. He's Roger Rabbit, the detective in Roger Rabbit. So then I started thinking, I was like trying to like connect these dots, and I'm like, holy shit, is Roger Rabbit an isekai? And I'm like trying to think about it, because it's like literally like there's a guy and there's like a separation of two worlds, and it's sort of like he travels into this like upside down like fun land where, you know, it's totally different from reality, right? It's like literal like opposite of reality. It's Toon World, right? So I'm like, does that qualify as an isekai? Because it's like, I think that's really cool, and I'm like, oh my god, is this even like going back even further? Because Roger Rabbit was like 1988, and Super Mario Brothers was 1993. So I'm like, fuck, is Roger Rabbit the OG isekai?
I'll go with it.
OG American isekai.
I'd go with it.
Because I'm like, holy shit. Oh my god. And it's like, yeah. Well, I mean, if you want to like count like the Disney movie like Alice in Wonderland, I feel like that predates everything because that was based off of the book by Lewis Carroll, where, you know, obviously Alice goes to Wonderland. And that was written in what, like 1800s sometime. But like, as for like modern American cinema, and animation as well, like American, and that's such a classic movie, you know, like, and I feel like it did something so like so unique and different for the time. And strangely enough, it is also a Disney movie, or at least owned or licensed by Disney, I think. Yeah, and it does something really unique that I feel like has never been done in Japanese animation either, where it's like they try to blend live action with animation. I don't think that I've never seen anything like that in Japanese animation, because it was sort of at like the late 80s where it was like a lot of time, late 80s, early 90s, a lot of time for experimental animation, film, and technology, like all these sorts of things. There was just a lot of new innovation happening. So people were just kind of like pushing the boundaries of seeing like what was possible. So I feel like, and like Roger Rabbit was one of like the greatest successes, I feel like, of that sort of experimentation. So actually, Roger Rabbit A+ on the on the report card. If y'all haven't seen it, go back and watch Roger Rabbit. If you actually did your homework and watched Super Mario, you can redeem your brain cells with watching Roger Rabbit as actually a quality quality movie with Bob Hoskins, aka Super Mario.
I'm glad you brought that up, because Roger Rabbit is actually one of my favorite childhood movies. I was just like, I watched it back in November just for nostalgia purposes, and I was just like, damn, this is such a good movie. I'm glad this is still around.
Yeah, it's a classic. I haven't seen it in a while, but like I just went back and watched like a few scenes after I realized, and I was like pondering the question, is Roger Rabbit an isekai?
That feel when your sexual awakening was Jessica Rabbit and you're like, damn. Okay.
Damn, they don't make movies like seriously, this is a kids movie. It was a Disney movie for kids, and I'm like, how much more politically incorrect can you get these days? Because I feel like you like these big corporations, especially like media companies, would get canceled so quick if they put something out like that now. With like especially with like the whole controversy recently with like green M&M.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like this whole trend across brands as well. It's like first it was Lola Bunny from Space Jam. I think we mentioned that earlier in like season 1 too, but happened to, I don't know, it's like this
They nerfed Lola, they nerfed green M&M.
I know,
Watch they remake Roger Rabbit, they're gonna nerf fucking Jessica. No!
Jesus Christ. That would make me so sad, because it's literally, she's such like the personification of sexuality that it's like, if you take that away from her, like there's nothing left to her character. You know what I mean? It's like, that's like her sexuality is just entirely her character design. So I'm like, there's nothing left after that. And she's literally like a jazz singer, so it's sort of like sets these like adult like undertones to the entire movie as well. So it's like, I don't know how they got away with this in the late 80s, man. How did they get away with this stuff? Wow, I don't even know, because it was like rated PG?
Mm-hmm.
That was a PG movie? I don't think that would be rated PG. That would not fly as a PG movie these days.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of funny thinking about how like culture, that kind of like sensitivity, I think, has changed. So, because it's like, at the same time, I feel torn because it's like I feel kind of sad that it's like, okay, but to me it sends the message that women can't be sexy in order to be taken seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of have some issues with that. I'm like, why not? You know? And it's like, why do you have to like, so, you know, take that away from a woman in order to be taken seriously? I mean, I guess you can argue, the other side of that argument is saying that like, oh, it's just the objectification of women, and you know, it's I guess that's the original sort of like where this whole movement came from, to like nerf these sexy characters, but like at the same time it makes me sad because I wonder if it's just because we grew up in this era where we were exposed to these sort of images. You know what I mean?
These are the traditional gender norms of our generation.
Yeah, I don't know, but at the same time, to me, I feel like it's not a mutually exclusive thing to be sexy and also to be taken seriously. So I don't know. Maybe you can argue both sides of this. So up for debate. Leave your comments below. What do you think, audience? Yeah, anyway, that was a big tangent about Roger Rabbit being an isekai. Sort of like part 2 from last week's episode, if you're interested in hearing about terrible isekais. And some modern ones, too. We talked about some recent anime that came out. So check out episode 2 if you're into the isekais. But this week's topic, I kind of want to talk about travel in culture, I guess. Recently, I also watched on Netflix Midnight Asia. Have you seen this?
I've seen parts of it. I remember watching a couple episodes. That's the one where it's like different foods, right? Like they go to different
kind of. It's not
places.
just food, yeah. They go to a lot of different places in general. They just kind of like each episode is exploring a major city in Asia, and sort of it's more of like a nightlife sort of theme.
Okay. I just remember a lot of street food.
There is a lot of street food, yeah. I watched the Tokyo episode and maybe like a little bit of actually no, I don't really remember the other ones. I think I only watched the Tokyo episode just because I was like, oh shit, what am I missing out on? I love seeing these like documentary shows, especially like recent ones that have been shot like and are just about Tokyo, because I'm like, oh shit, I live here. I can like, what am I missing out on?
The bagels? You're missing out on the bagels?
I can go check out the bagel shop, yeah. I mean, as far as bagels go, like the New York place is fucking awesome. So I don't know. Bagels, high standards in Tokyo.
But all you can eat bagels. The big sell for me. All you can eat bagels.
That's shocking that this exists in Tokyo, because I feel like it doesn't even. You would be hard pressed to find an all you can eat bagels spot in America, unless it's like continental breakfast at like a hotel. Even then, yeah.
I feel like bagels are dense enough where it's like you could probably like make pretty good profits on doing a all you can eat bagel place.
I think like I can max out at maybe 2, maybe 3 bagels if I'm pushing it. Like
they're super dense. I'm like, this could work. Heck, freaking, especially what's that? Soup plantation is purely salad and carbs. I'm sure all you can eat bagel could just fit that same model.
Anyways, yeah, so like Midnight Asia, I watched the Tokyo episode, and it was kind of a weird selection of like places. Didn't you like, there was like, oh, there was one place that really looked awesome that I actually I put on my list of places I want to go. Bar Trench. Did you see that? There's like the Brazilian bartender, Japanese Brazilian bartender, and he looks like he walked out of like the 1940s, and he looks like a barkeep. He's got like the fucking like handlebar mustache and everything, and like
it's been a while since I last saw it, but that sounds familiar.
Like, what? Yeah, so like it's an absinthe bar, so it's kind of like, it's so, I don't know, it's got this really unique kind of vibe, and yeah, I kind of want to check it out. It looks like it's in Shibuya, pretty close to Ibisu, so I want to go check that out. I don't know if they're serving alcohol. I think they're leaving it up to the individual establishments right now, because there is a quasi state of emergency in effect right now, so everything is shut down at 8 pretty much. But I think they can still serve alcohol. I think it's still legal to sell.
Okay.
So we'll see. I'll check that out. Maybe report back on a future episode. What else was on that episode of Midnight Asia? That was they had a weird selection. There was a Department H was actually one of the features. Did you see was it towards the end of the episode where they went to the fetish club?
Okay, that sounds mildly familiar, but like the last time I watched this was like maybe 2 or 3 years ago during my Netflix binge forever during pandemic.
Am I fucking late to this party? Because like I thought Midnight Asia came out recently, but I guess if it's 2 or 3 years old, I mean, I guess it looks like it was shot and filmed pre-pandemic because nobody's wearing masks. So maybe I'm just late to this party.
Oh no, I got it mixed up with another like documentary type show. Just kidding, I have not seen Midnight Asia.
All right, well, actually, let me put that up on the roster for, let's put that up on the report card. Midnight Asia. I've only seen the Tokyo episode, so it's kind of hard for me to give a grade for the entire series, but based off of the one episode for Tokyo, I give it a C+, man. They chose some weird stuff to highlight for Tokyo, and I feel like it gives like this really weird, distorted view of what nightlife in Tokyo is like, because I feel like they chose some really eclectic things to do. Really strange features on this episode. There was like one feature on like a 80-year-old DJ granny who like, and I'm like, oh, this is so random. I'm like, good for her, but who's gonna go watch this? But yeah, they actually do feature the fetish club, and they have some footage of it. There's like the costume wrestling and stuff like that, and like a bunch of people in like costumes and latex and suits and all that shit. So, you get a good view of the inside of what the club was like before they like scaled it back for all the pandemic stuff happening. So I'm not really sure if events are still going on, but yeah, you get a glimpse of what that's like. Yeah, so C plus, it's like, I feel like it's not gonna please everyone because of how I don't know, like disparate their choices were in like choosing these really random things across Tokyo. But yeah, I think the highlight for me was seeing that absinthe bar trench. That looks really cool. Yeah, so let us know what is on your ultimate weeb itinerary. dear listeners, dear 5 subscribers, what do you want to see in Tokyo? What's on your list?
And Pokemon everything. Ghibli everything.
The classic weeb shit.
Super Mario, the theme park, Tokyo Disney.
Super Mario is such a recent addition that I haven't even gone to the Super Mario. And it's like only a section of Universal Studios, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like one part. So I don't know. You have to buy a ticket just for Universal Studios to get to see Super Mario Land.
I must.
I'm excited for Donkey Kong expansion for the Super Mario Land. I'm really excited for that because I feel like all the videos that I've seen of people going, like, it just seems really small, and I feel like I was in Osaka in that area like last year, and I couldn't justify the price of a Universal Studios ticket when I've already been to Universal Studios, seen all this shit, just to go for like the one little section there, and I'm like, damn, it just looks so tiny. There's only a couple rides, and like, I don't know, man. You gotta be hardcore, like a hardcore fan to really.
I want to go on the Yoshi ride that just that goes around the whole park.
That does seem really cute. I feel like that would probably be like a really, really cute date idea. Oh, let's bring it back to the Valentine's Day theme. Like, perfect Japanese Valentine's Day date. Take your Valentine to Super Mario Land in Osaka. Best weeb date ever. But yeah, anything else on your? Do you have any ultimate weeb destinations?
Well, I feel like when I was living there on those 2 occasions, I already did most of the weeb stuff I wanted to do because everyone's token is to go to Akihabara and look at all the weeb shit, and I was like, did that. But I wasn't too like, yeah, I like anime stuff, but I wasn't like, oh my god, this is like the mecca. I'm kind of just like, I'm just here because I'm obligated to, because I'm familiar with the weeb stuff. But I think I mostly went around for eating and drinking because a lot of the places that I like going to the different regions to see what their like specialty, like what they were known for. Like when you go to Nagano, you go for the apples, and when you go to like Fukuoka, you get that type of ramen that they have in Fukuoka, and then when you go to like Sapporo and stuff, you go for ice cream and dairy because that's like what they're known for. So I think if anything, I went for like regional specialties when I traveled, just because I'm a fatty and I love food.
Yeah, like for anyone who hasn't been to Tokyo, is planning a Japan trip, whenever the border opens, I recommend spending as little time in Tokyo as possible. Like, I would do maybe like 1 to 2 days max in total for Tokyo, and like try to spend as much time as possible in
Not
like,
Tokyo.
yeah, regional parts of Japan. Like, if you want to feel the real traditional Japanese culture, I would spend more time in Kyoto, or like just going out to these sort of like much smaller villages and different areas to kind of, yeah, like do what Justine was talking about, and sampling like these local specialties, because I feel like this is something really cool. I feel like Japan markets itself really well. Like each region, each city has its own mascot. They have their own like special dish. They have their own like products that they're really famous for, and I feel like that makes it really easy to like buy omiyage and like bring back gifts. Like for when you go travel to those places, you're expected to bring back like little gifts and like food, snacks, and presents for like all the people back home who didn't get to go on the trip. So like I feel like each local region in Japan like specifically markets and caters to those like demands. So like I feel like America is just not as organized with that. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, each state has like a theme, and we've got like a flag and a flower. We don't really have mascots, really. I don't know, because it's like we have like sports teams with mascots, but if you're not into sports, that's not really, you know, something you may know about. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like America could actually learn from Japan in that sense, or at least like there's an opportunity there to sort of look at American culture in a new way. It's made me look at American culture in a new way, especially with how big and diverse and how rich like the food culture is in Japan, or I'm sorry, in America too. Like, and just thinking about how does each region represent itself, especially through food.
Idaho potato. That's all I got.
Shit, Idaho potatoes. Oh man.
Idaho got an assignment. They understood the assignment. All other states, I don't know.
Represent Idaho. Okay, I'm just gonna end the podcast right there. That's that highlight. Thank you, Idaho, for understanding the assignment. We'd like to end with some Q&A. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, requests for topics you'd like to hear more about, please reach out to us on our social media at Top Class Tokyo on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter, or send us an email at topclasstokyo@gmail.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. What is your hometown specialty? Let us know, and we'll share it on the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Class is dismissed.
God damn it. Fucking Idaho.
Thank you, Idaho.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Idaho, man. Yeah.
I'm all like, wait. New York pizza?
New York pizza, that's true.
Chicago's
got their own kind of deep dish, yeah.
What are those Philly cheesesteaks?
Philly cheesesteaks, hell yeah.